Yep.
I already know what it is. I already know. Andre, let's go.
Get silly, what? Silly, hit silly, get silly, hit silly, hit silly. I get silly for Christ. Hit silly, hit silly, hit silly, hit silly, hit silly, hit silly, hit silly.
Yo, I'm slamming on the devil like a cheap screen door. Got money in my pocket, I will never be poor. Nope. Got rims on the car, check screens in the car. Check the trunk beat so loud that the doors come ajar.
Dang.
Lights be blinking, lights be flashing. I'm colder than a winter night late in Aspen. I am not the president, I am the assassin. Got rubber bands that I only hold my cash in. I'm an angel, you would think I was flying. More people behind me than Verizon. Cause I act real silly and I get real hypey. Married to the Lord, that's why I keep no wifey.
Get silly, hit silly, hit silly, get silly, get silly, get silly. I get silly for Christ. Get silly, 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 get silly. I get silly for Christ. Get silly, get silly, get silly, get silly, get silly, get silly.
Now lean with it,
Lean with it.
now rock with it. Now I ain't dancing, that's just how my spirit gotta get it. I'm talking about them blessings, blessing the anointing too. We praise that God because Jesus, we love you. God, I need your help. The devil lied to me. They sent them demons and now they trying to come capture me. But I ain't scared, homie. I'ma set it off. I'ma have a praise party, tell them who the boss. Jesus be the king, the ruler of the world. When I got Jesus in my life, I ain't never scared. The Lord hold it down. Something like Shaq. Look the devil in his face, told him back.
Get silly, get silly, get silly, get silly, get silly, get silly. I get silly for Christ. Get silly, 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 get silly. I get silly for Christ. Get silly, get silly, get silly, get silly, get silly, get silly.
What up, God? Time to take a look at my heart. The world is coming to an end, but life's about to start. And I'ma make it to the place where I can live with you. Every prayer I say and speak, it all belongs to you. I said, God be the glory, cause I'm still alive. Cause the devil trying to kill my body from the inside. But I ain't even tripping, cause I know that I'm blessed. God got a plan for me, so this must be the test. Graduated from the devil, now I'm playing the safe. I love the Lord and the blessing, so I'm filled with grace. Chryst Lyke representing, what you know about that? And I gotta stay paying tithes, cause my pocket is fat. You dig?
Get silly, get silly, get silly, get silly, get silly, get silly. I get silly for Christ. Get silly, 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 get silly. I get silly for Christ. Get silly, get silly, get silly, get silly, get silly, get silly.